Hello everyone, welcome back to another edition of Dime Box Discoveries. Haven't had one in a little while, haven't been able to make it out to a show really. This weekend made it out to 2 shows, but kind of ran a problem. There really were very little dime boxes, and what they had was not really all that strong, relatively speaking. So are my other discount bin shopper divers looking for the dime boxes? Are you guys running into that problem too? I maybe just had a little bit of bad luck. So we'll see, but I do have stuff from shows here. This row here was like 12 for $1, 25 for $2. These are dimes through here. These are some a little more expensive, and these are some trades in eBays here. Let's jump in and show you what we got. First of all, on eBay, let me show you this. I won't linger too much on this, but this is really one of my most favorite sets I'm working on. I think I've showed you guys some of these before. This is the 1976 Shakey's Pizza baseball card set. They were sold at 5 locations around in the Seattle area for Shakey's Pizza. It's a 158 card set. With these now, I'm now up to 112 and 158 card set. It's actually a rather expensive set, to be quite honest with you. So to be that far along, I feel really good. It's probably going to be in the most expensive set that I end up putting together, but I'm okay with that because it is just really cool, incredibly regional, and food. And has some really neat cards in here. It's like the baseball greats, Hall of Famers, things like that. So really cool. There you go. Jocko Conlon, and is a Hall of Fame umpire. It's a little bit different. So just really kind of cool. There's Carl Hubbard. I believe, unless I get this wrong, the only man in both the MLB and the NFL Hall of Fame. And MLB as a umpire, and in NFL as an offensive lineman or defender or something like that. So Carl Hubbard in 2 different Hall of Fames. NFL as a player, MLB as an umpire. So 112 now in that set I have of the 158. Really kind of amazing. I started it because I found 1 card in 1 dime box. Thanks, Scott. It was your dime box, costing me some real money. But a really cool, fun chase for me. I'm really enjoying that. Grabbed these off of eBay for pretty cheap. Couple of Cincinnati natives, Mark Lewis from Hamilton, Ohio, a couple autographs. These were like $1 combined with $1.25 something with shipping, and $3 including shipping, a Claude Osteen autograph. So really kind of cool. Dig those. All right. I got one of my viewers in here. His name is Randy. Awesome guy from Central Ohio. We go back and forth with stuff. Randy sends me amazing stuff. I'm going to show you what he sent me this time because Randy always sends me cool and random stuff. And I like random. If you see my videos, you know this. Dave Concepcion sticker card from Topps from 1992. I'm going to come back to that card in a moment. Check that out. Carl Erskine auto card. How cool is that from OSC? Really cool there. Here we go. Dolphins team leaders. Ken Stabler. Totally awesome from Alabama. And then check this. This is a Hostess card. I can't remember if I had these all done or not. Or sorry, Wonder Bread. Not Hostess, Wonder Bread. I don't think I have this one done. I'm going to have to double check that set and see. Steve Mix, who, by the way, from my guy BK who watches, who does Max Wax Stacks. He's got a great channel. Check it out, Mac, M-A-C, Wax Stacks. Go and follow him on YouTube. Toledo guy. So Mac guy right there, the Mid-American Conference. ML Carr, great player. Henry Bibby, his son, of course. Bibby won a title with Arizona back in the mid-90s. Beat UK. It was Wildcat versus Wildcats in the final. And then Charlie Chris. And then a couple of these. There's an Alex Rodriguez and a Derek Jeter. Very cool. So, Randy, thank you, man. Really neat stuff. Oh, wait. I almost forgot to talk about maybe the coolest card of everything here. And super cool. Here we go. A Frank Baumholtz, and this is like a 54 Bowman or something. I believe it's a 54 Bowman, but I could be wrong. So what's really cool about this is, especially now, speaking of the Mid-American Conference, is Frank Baumholtz, Major League Baseball player, also played professional basketball. But what you may not know is he went to Ohio University as a Bobcat. And in 1941, Frank here was a first-team All-American and led Ohio University to the NIT championship game, which at the time, the NIT was the big game. That's where you sent it to. So Frank led the Ohio Bobcats to the verge of a national title back in 1941. He was the first player to have his jersey retired by the Ohio Bobcats, so a Mac guy right there. Beautiful shape. I love this card. Randy, man, you continue to throw like some awesome stuff my way. And just one random card that always kind of takes my breath away. A beauty right here. I love this. All right. From amazing 1954 Bowman's to 25 for $2, basically 12 for $1. Let's show you what we got. Locals here, Carl Tuffy Rhodes, who was a beast in the Japanese League, by the way. Also 3 home runs on opening days for the Astros. I believe it was the Cubs. He had 3 home runs on opening day. I think it was for one of the two. But this is the Gold Rush version for him. So very, very cool. But yeah, 3 home runs and one opening day for him. And then he went and hit bombs in Japan. Todd Benzinger is a local guy out of Dayton, Kentucky, just across the river from Ohio. Jim Laritz, Kyle Schwarber, of course, from Middletown, Ohio. Andrew Benintendi from Madeira. Josh Harrison from Princeton. And David Justice from Covington, Latin, but out of Cincinnati. What's funny is I was pulling the cards out. The guy I was buying them from looks at me and he goes, "So you collect locals, huh?" And I was like, "Oh, you recognize me?" He goes, "Oh, I know all the locals." So credit to him, too. That's really cool. What locals do you collect? Do you collect any guys who like went to your high school or from your hometown? Drop me a note and let me know. All right, how about some more recent tops? I'm working on the Topps All-Rookie Trophy cards. I don't know which ones I've left from this year. I think I have all but like 2. Since I didn't know, I went and bought them because they were 8 cents. Accidentally bought 2 Mauricio Dubons, who I PC because I did the very first story on him when he was playing single-A baseball. Second guy ever born in Honduras to make the major leagues, but the first guy to be raised in Honduras. The other guy was born there, but didn't really live there. And that was, gosh, dang it. Played with the Astros in the early 90s. I think I traded around a little bit. It wasn't, I'll have to find out later. But anyway, Mauricio Dubon, like the happiest guy ever. Super nice. A couple of yellow variations there. A couple of variations for the Topps All-Rookie Trophy cards. And then 1 Oakland A's team card. So, very cool. All right, a couple more in the 12 for $1 category. Always good for trade bait with these home run challenges because they a lot of times get sent in. Ronald Acuna Jr. there. How about some Topps Gold Label? That is a Class 3 and there's a Class 2 there. Those always make good trade bait. Love the mascot cards as the Orioles. And then how about some old school guys with Honus Wagner, Carl Yastrzemski, Johnny Mize, the big cat Johnny Mize for Rizzuto, Reggie Jackson, and many of Willie Stargell. These are from the 2024 Allen and Ginter, by the way. And then Willie McCovey, Warren Spawn Insane, and Pray for Rain. If you know, you know. And then randomly a Dan Uggla here. I just thought the card looked pretty. Doesn't it look pretty? Maybe it's just me. And then this came in packs of Big League. I just thought it was kind of neat. So anyway, now over the dime boxes. Literally 2 different shows. All I found was one guy with a few dime boxes, which I've gone through before, but I found some more I needed because he had a little bit of refresh. And this one guy with 12 for $25. One of the shows didn't have any dime boxes. It's kind of disappointing, but fingers crossed for the month with a couple big shows coming up. They'll be able to find some dime boxes and nickel, maybe even some pennies. All right, more local guys out of the dime boxes. 90 Leaf, Barry Larkin. Anytime I find a star in the 90 Leaf, I pick it up. Same as 92 Bowman, because there's always people trying to put those sets together, so make good trade bait. Some more Barry Larkins, of course, out of Moeller in Cincinnati. Jeff Russell. I never come across Jeff Russell cards because, he's a reliever, doesn't get a lot of love, although did make an all-star game or 2 with the Rangers. Very good, but he is from Cincinnati and started off with the Reds. So I love it when I find the Cincinnati guys in red uniforms. It's just so much cooler. Speaking of Cincinnati guys with the red uniforms, Kent Tekulve played his last year with the Reds. This is the Topps traded card when he went there in 1989. Obviously, I didn't play for the Reds yet. Went to high school in Hamilton, Ohio. Adam Engel, 2 of these, very cool. Sam Hubbard out of Moeller. And then, yes, even a president and former Chief Justice of the Supreme Court actually was president and then became the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court. So you can do that. It's crazy and you can do it and it's awesome. Taz was from Cincinnati, went to Woodward High School. For those of you who are wondering what high school it is, it's the same, in baseball terms, it's the same one as Darryl Boston, who played with the White Sox in the 80s. And also the Rockies, and also the Mets. If you're doing the Immaculate Grid, he's kind of handy. So, but President Taft, also Supreme Court Chief Taft, from Cincinnati also. So I do collect even guys like that out of Cincinnati. All right, here we go. when I find things in the dime box, the autos, I pick them up. These are all dime box autos. Let's show you what I have in here. Nobody's special. In fact, most of these guys either didn't make the majors or only in the football guys, like maybe had a cup of coffee in the NFL, but we'll show them off to you. Fred Costello, Carl Dale. Now, this is really cool for my guy, once again, Brent, BK, baby. This video is all about you and the Mac. 2 of Central Michigan's running backs right here with the autos. And this guy right here, Brian Pruitt. Yes, he was the MAC Offensive Player of the Year, rushing for nearly 1,900 yards and 20 touchdowns his senior year. So, there's an Auburn player, dude out of Michigan State, Baylor. So these are really cool. I actually picked up 2 of them. There are more of these guys. I only usually pick up 1 of each of these. They make good trade bait for like people like, oh, I collect Auburn guy or Arizona or Baylor or, you know, Michigan States. They make good trade bait when you can pick them up for a dime as an auto. To Fresno State. Here we go. Some more guys. South Carolina guy, Jeremy Nunley. He did play in the NFL. Some of these guys did actually play in the NFL a little bit. And I know Nunley did. Mark Montgomery. Perry Klein. Perry Klein was one of the top, I remember this dude actually a little bit. He was one of the top recruited players in the country, but didn't get any playing time. So senior year, he transferred out to a college called CW Post, where he lit the world on fire. Did nothing in NFL, but did play CFL? World Football League. I know he played World Football League. So kind of random, kind of cool. And just a couple more random autos. Gabe Wilkins and Lee Daniels and Sergio Nunez. So always make some good trade bait with the autos when you can pick them up for a dime. Here we go. Just a bunch of Mark McGuire's. I didn't want to waste my time going through all my Mark McGuire needs. So if it looked like a card that I maybe needed, I bought it for a dime. If I don't need it, they'll go in the trade bin. So that's what I do on McGuire's when it's dimes. I just don't want to waste my time. So, all right. More dimes. Yeah, we'll go right here. Yep. These I love. Check this out. Look at this one right here. This is so cool. What makes it so cool is, I've never seen this one before. It's 2 of 2. It's the Florida Marlins first. I'm presuming the 1 of 2 in that is probably the Colorado Rockies in their first. So this is really cool. First game there. First pitch ceremony was Joe DiMaggio. I did not know that. So, and of course, I don't know, Charlie, is it Huff or Howe? It depends. I cannot remember what it is. But anyway, he threw out the first major league pitch for them. By the way, saying here's Walt Weiss with some first extra base hit. Walt Weiss a triple in the second inning. Here's a trivia question for you. In fact, I'm going to throw it out there. And the first person who can do this without looking it up, don't Google this. I want to see if anybody actually knows this trivia question. We're on the honor system here. If you get it right, I'll send you a package of like 8 or 9 cards. You can send me a team and we'll figure it out. First one answer this, I'll send you some cards I hand select for you. Anyway, who threw out the very first pitch in Marlins organizational history? And it wasn't for the Florida Marlins. It was for their minor league team in 1992. The Marlins started playing in 1993, but they had a minor leagues set up in 1992. Who threw the very first pitch for the Marlins in 1992 in the minor leagues? Here's a hint. You've heard his name before, but it's not who you think. This is one you either know or you don't know. Who threw out the very first pitch for the Marlins? Google it if you want to, but don't answer if you had to Google it. So if you know this, because I know this, put it down there. You can win something. Speaking of Florida Marlins, look at this. Nigel Wilson. This dude was a can't-miss prospect. Lit it up in Knoxville for the Smokies back in the day. He was the pick for the Florida Marlins. And by the way, in this expansion draft, look at pick number 4. Trevor Hoffman from the Cincinnati Reds. Boy, I bet the Reds probably think, man, I wish we could have protected him. Not bad selections either. Carl Everett, Dave Weathers. So there's like Pat Rapp, Chuck Carr. They picked some good players. And if you're going to pull a card out with Nigel Wilson, you got to pull a card out with David Need, the very first pick in the expansion draft, who went to the Colorado Rockies. So there we go. Both first picks happen to be in the same box, not back-to-back, but I thought it was just kind of neat. Todd Hansworth, a minor league card, very limited back in the day, only one of 25,000. So there you go. Charles Johnson, a Team USA gear. I love it. Lou Bob here. Zach and Porter, also a great channel you can follow on YouTube. Zach and Porter. Father and son, I love their stuff. It's a lot of fun. Do you guys need this Lou Bob? Also, somebody tell me on these. This is like the border on these. So there's apparently black borders on these that are 1 of 1s. And they're not numbered though. Like they don't put the numbers on and tell you the 1 of 1. How in the heck do you know if this is a 1 of 1 black border? What is this? I've got another one like this of a different player. So is this like a navy blue? Like, what is this? Somebody please tell me what the black border one-of-ones look like. And do I have one right here? Anthony Rizzo with the Topps Chrome with the All-Star Trophy card. Once again, 1990 Leaf, Paul Mauter. Like I said, I pick up the stars and make great trade bait. And a couple more Topps Gold labels. These are both, I believe, Class 3s. But anyway, always make good trade bait when you got Topps Gold label Class 3s. So some old cards that are not old. Obviously, there's like reprint ones, same usual. Hoyt Wilhelm, Bert Campaneris, A Beauty of Harmon Killebrew. There's Tris Speaker, Phil Hughes, Bob Feller, and not old school, but old school design, Dr. Jim Beckett, founder of Beckett Inc. So that's really neat. I've never seen one before. It makes sense that, the guy who made Beckett would have his own card. So very, very cool. I kind of enjoy that. Kind of neat. Now, some stuff that I got really excited about. I like my kind of different stuff. So you have a William Howard Taft over here. Taft over here. And speaking of presidents and history and things like that, I picked up some of these before, and I'm totally stoked to pick up more of these United States Constitution cards that I may chase a set. So these have all the different signers, and look who I found. Look who I found, ladies and gentlemen, the George Washington card. Heck yeah. GW signing it there. William Blount, who has made his name in Knoxville, Tennessee. He's not from Knoxville, but you go down to Tennessee, and there's William Blount, Blount County, Blount County High School. There's Blount stuff all over the place down there, but I think he was forced to resign his post in Congress or the Senate. I don't know, some controversy. I don't know all the details because I'm not that in-depth on my 1700 politics. I apologize for that. And then David Brearley. And then these ones here, we the people, you go in order to the United States, in order to form a more perfect union, so on and so forth, the preamble there. But these have like different backs, and you actually like put them together to, to form the Constitution when they're in the sheets together. So very neat. Work on that set. And then a couple of neat buildings here, the Woolworth Building, Willis Tower, and the U.S. Merrimack. Totally dig that. Floating Fortresses. I love outlining Ginter cards. The weirder, the better. That's one thing I'm kind of missing out of dime boxes, I will tell you. I'm not finding the weird stuff. I'm not finding as much stuff from like the 80s. Like, here's something that was from a barber shop in Delaware from 1987. Like, I'm not finding that kind of like super deep oddball stuff as much anymore. Where has that gone? Talk to me. Tell me what you've seen in dime boxes. Now, I was super stoked to find this. This out of the Baseball Card Magazine. So love those. You cut those out of the magazine. Totally dig it. Roger Clemens. Aaron Harang, that's a Cons card from the Reds. It was like one of those giveaways. And then some food stuffs here. Andres Galarraga, another big cat. With Denny's, two big cats here. We got a Johnny Mize and an Andres Galarraga. And then a Jimmy Dean, Gary Sheffield. I love this 86 Topps card of Tony Perez with a young Eric Davis. I mean, you've got the past with Tony Perez, Hall of Famer. High five in Eric Davis, who was to be the future of the Reds and help them win that World Series in 1990. Magnum 44 Magnum, Eric Davis there. Stellar athlete. So really cool. Frank Robinson. Joe Morgan. Man, we got some like heavy hitters here for the Reds. Hal Morris, a lifetime career 300 hitter, by the way. Nolan Ryan in the 1990 Classic. Mo Vaughn rookie card. You got the big bat, Frank Thomas. Frank Thomas in a Score 1991, one of these like Rising Star sets. There you go. You've got Brett and Yount together, two people whose careers were always linked together. How about Chad Hutchinson? Only threw like a game or two in the majors, better known as the backup quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys. There's a Jay Bruce because it's Topps All-Star Rookie Trophy card. Minor league card of, Charles Johnson. Charles Johnson, is he an underrated catcher? I think Charles Johnson's an underrated catcher, by the way. I will go into that depth later, but here we go. Printer's Proof, 1 of 1,000, Ben Grieve, for Sport. Just thought that was kind of cool. Man, I really was hoping he'd blow up more for the Oakland A's, but it is what it is. Sheffield in the Topps Black Gold. Derek Bell, a silver version of that. And then some funky kind of version of Mark Newfield here. So just a parallel. All right, speaking of parallels, this is really neat to find in there. Dustin May, this is like the Walmart kind of version of the holidays. But this is the short print because he's actually wearing the Santa hat. So very cool with the Santa hat short print on there. Looked it up. It's actually not worth that much. Some of these things are worth a lot. This one is like $1, a little bit more than $1 maybe. But I dig it's got the Santa hat. So cool. First edition of Randy Messenger. Once again, these first editions stuff for team collectors are always looking to trade for these. DJ LeMahieu, always good when you find numbered Yankees cards because there's a lot of Yankees collectors out there. Charlie Blackmon in the sepia. Adam Jones in the Topps Gold out of 2009 because, of course, as we always say, it was the 2009 set. Bob Higgins, first edition, 1 out of 2000. This is really neat. I've seen these before. These are the minted in Cooperstown. These were supposedly minted on as the lore goes, a printing press in the basement of Cooperstown. Why does that make it special? Not really, just because it's just another parallel Topps. Kind of like artificially creating it. But apparently this card spent some time in the Hall of Fame in the basement being printed. Tony Clark with a preview. And then a numbered card of Gary Sheffield out of 150. That's kind of neat, I'm sure, and it's a Yankee. And then, interesting, Josh Sale out of 200. Never made it to the bigs. He was supposed to be a big-time prospect. Kind of making his way up. Ran into some drug problems. Ran into more drug problems. Got kicked out of the league. Disappeared from baseball. Showed back up in, like, an independent league. Knocked the snot of the ball. And after, like, being out of, like, the minors for, like, 6 or 7 years, got back to the minor leagues and played in AA and AAA for, like, 2 or 3 years before finally washing back out again at, like, the age of 31. So, just kind of interesting. And finally, a little bit of football of the dime box. The gold version of the laser view. I love these laser views because you can't see crap. And look, I mean, like, these were terrible. Like, Pinnacle. These are terrible. Was there something you're supposed to hold up? There it is. Like, you can kind of see. There's Boomer there, I guess. That's Boomer. You can just tell me it's Boomer and I'll believe it. But that's the gold version. There's a silver version. That's the gold version. Really neat. Jim Kelly here. The classic. One of 2083. I don't know what's out of 2083. Maybe I should have looked that up. Anyway, Eric Dickerson in the reprint. That's like the rookie. Some Topps did. They actually go for a couple bucks usually. And really neat. You know, I love my cards that are art cards because I love art. And I love baseball cards / football cards. So kind of a combo there. One, of course, is Dan Marino. And I can't remember the other one was. It's not Daryl Talley. No, it's something with the Giants. I don't know. Anyway, someone tell me who that is because I really just don't feel like remembering it. All right. A couple other things that I bought at the show. This is a Reds 1989 con set. I didn't go through it to make sure it's all there, but it's got Pete on the front, Bear Lark on the back. It's probably a full set. Guy said, give me $5 for the set because I'm going to pay 10 for it. And I didn't even ask him. He's like, I was like, what? I was like, you know, he's like, look at these and I'll give you a good deal. So I looked through and I found these. So what do you want? He said, give me 5. So $5, got the entire 1989 con set. Fantastic. I'm going to go to the back here. These are really neat. These are the Disney, they're cards out of for Disney out of their 100th anniversary from last year. But the neat thing is they were supposed to come to the United States. They never did. They were only made in China. So here's a Red Panda. Here's the Mini. Here's a Woody. Here is mine, one of my most favorite, Carl from Up. By the way, to get a little bit off subject, if you want to talk about amazing, amazing storytelling, that first 5 minutes of Up, where there's no dialogue whatsoever, and they tell the whole entire life story of Carl here and his wife and what they went through and not being able to have a child and, you know, wanting to go on all these adventures and they got older and it's just, there's few things in cinematic history that tell a story better and make you fall in love with characters and then rip your heart out in that short period of time than the first 5 minutes of Up. That's my hot take on cinema right now. And then this, I love penguins. They're my most favorite animal. I go to the Cincinnati Zoo, and when I do, I just sit there and watch the penguins in the tank quite often. Honestly, my girlfriend just leaves me there sometimes and watch on the zoo, and I just watch the penguins. So Wheezy from Toy Story, I had to pick this one up for $1 just because it's a penguin, and I love it. So anyway, look, I have adult money. I can buy a freaking penguin card for $1 if I want it. Don't judge me. You can judge me if you want to. It's okay. And finally, last but not least, 50-cent cards. So I know I'm really stepping out of my comfort level here with 50-cent cards. But look at this. It's a beautiful Jerry Lucas. It's in great shape. A little bit of a ding on the corner up here. But, man, we're talking these are 72, 73s. And Jerry Lucas, of course, is out of Middletown, which is the same as Kyle Schwarber. So this is a local for me. A little bit of a crease here in the corner, but not bad. Beautiful card. Looks fantastic. And by the way, there's a weird thing in some of the 72, 73s. Lucas isn't the only one, apparently. They have these guys wearing their jerseys backward in the pictures. See, look, it's not the Knicks. It's the Lucas 32. Like, that makes no sense, man. Like, none. But also, Nate Thurman warning for my guy BK, Bowling Green Falcon. Then look at this. Walt Bellamy. And look at these, are in really nice shape, relatively speaking. Which usually find 72 73s for 50 cents. Gail Goodrich, always a fan favorite with the Lakers. Hal Greer. And then Glenn Combs, the Kentucky Rifle out of Carr Creek High School in Knott County, Kentucky, baby, back in the mountains. Glenn Combs is one of the original three-point sharpshooters when he was in, see, look, Glenn led the ABA in three-point shooting. There you go. So, yeah, out of Carr Creek. I told you, out of Carr Creek, Kentucky, baby. I know my mountain history. Don't come at me with my mountain knowledge of mountain high school basketball. There are people who know more, but I'm pretty good for a guy who's not native to there. So anyway, that's really awesome to find one of him. Griffey Jr. in one of those weird, unlicensed, non-licensed set. Here's a Ricky, another one of those non-licensed. Griffey Jr. Sports Illustrated for Kids. I already have one of these, but gosh dang it, these are just a beauty. And I have one in my set for Sports Illustrated for Kids. I don't have one in my Griffey Jr. collection. So that's going to go there. I'm going to come back to this in a moment because that one's, I'm going to explain that one. Almost done here. Stick with me. Ricky Henderson starting lineup card. These things go for like, this is an 89, yeah, like $5 normally, even the bad ones. It's got a little bit of a stain here, but for 50 cents, it's a steal, man. And you know I love my starting lineup cards. I have not been finding many starting lineup cards lately in the dime, quarter boxes whatsoever anymore, so I'm glad to find those. Love these Investors 92 and 93. I would love to put the set together. Probably never going to get there because they're moderately expensive, and the set's like 100 plus, because look, the Gretzky's 113. It's a big old set. And then there's two different Emmitt Smiths in there, plus an Emmitt Smith blue variation. And then this one's really cool. Dale Earnhardt Jr. This is out of Winner's Circle. So there were see, it's Hasbro. There were 1/64th scale racing cards, like Matchbox cars, but of the NASCAR racers. This is out of those. So it's just like a starting lineup, but for NASCAR. So totally love those. Great stuff in 50 cents. Very, very happy with that. Finally, ignoring the $2 is also 50 cents. Now, you're going to say, why did you buy a ticket to the circus? I don't care if it's a 100th anniversary edition or not, for the Ringling Brothers Barnum and Bailey show. Why did you do that? And this is why. Because it's so cool. It was at Circus Arena in Venice, Florida. First of all, you have to understand that the circuses, especially Ringling Brothers, they would winter in southern Florida near Sarasota. That's why if you go down to Sarasota, there's a whole bunch of Ringling Brothers stuff because they gave money back to the city. There's like a Ringling Brothers museum and art center and things like that. So they would pack up and take on the train their circus back down to Florida, and they live there during the winter. But why does it matter at all? Because it's in Venice, Florida. That is where my parents now live. So I'm going to take that to them, put in their house. They have a little bit of a piece in the corner. My dad's got some neat Venice, Florida stuff. The odds of this in 1970 being used in Venice, Florida, circulating around the world for 54 years, ending back up in a card show in Florence, Kentucky, where I can find it to bring it back to Venice, Florida again, that, ladies and gentlemen, is what we call the invisible string theory. Anyway, thank you all for watching. If you're still here, I don't know why you are, but comment, tell me what you liked, what you didn't like. Do you collect guys from your hometown? And if you do, who is that person? Let me look for them for you so I can find them and give you a shout out. And also, if you know the answer to the trivia question without Googling, without cheating, who threw the very first pitch in Florida Marlins organizational history in the 1992 minor league game? Trust me, you know his name. He is a famous athlete. And that's the hint, famous athlete. Put it down in the comments and I'll pick a winner. All right, guys, thanks for watching. As always, enjoy the hobby as you see fit. Share the love with each other. Let's be good to each other. In a world where we can be anything, be kind. Peace out. See y'all later.